everyone, welcome back to Francis Entertainment Center again, and these stories are called Pop in the Pound and Odie in Love. Enjoy the video. At the Arbuckle residence, John is watching a game show before it is interrupted by the news, which announces the city's new law that all dogs must have a license. John reveals that he bought Odie a license and provides the latter with it. Odie protests by trying to remove the collar, but ultimately fails. Afterward, Garfield attempts to sleep before being interrupted by Odie, who wants to play fetch. Garfield instead kicks Odie out of the house before the dog begins to chase a butterfly into the neighborhood. Back at the house, Garfield finds that Odie's license has come loose, but decides to shrug it off. As Odie chases the butterfly, he is noticed by the dog catchers Al and Pete. He tries to escape, but is soon taken to the pound. Meanwhile, Garfield reveals he can't fall asleep and assumes it's due to Odie's license, but again decides to forget about it. Garfield instead decides to eat, but finds out that John refuses to serve it until Odie is at the table. Garfield decides to find Odie, but has no luck after searching in several places. Afterward, Herman Post reveals that Odie was taken to the pound. Garfield goes into the pound building only to be thrown out, as cats aren't allowed. After falling into a trash can, Garfield gets the idea to dress as a dog in order to be caught, which soon happens. He's soon thrown into Odie's cage before revealing himself to the latter. Gives Odie back to the license, tells the dog to get the attention of the dog catchers, which the dog does. After realizing their mistake, they let Odie out, but accidentally leave Garfield inside. After finding Garfield in the cage, Pete tells the latter that he can't be let out, as Al has the keys. Garfield, in protest, starts to insult dogs until they all break out of their cages. Back at the Arbuckle residence, Al apologizes to John, for Arbuckle questions where Garfield is. Assuming that he is having a wonderful time, it's soon revealed that Garfield is being chased by dogs around the neighborhood. John arrives home from the market and is greeted by his pets. As Odie annoys John, Garfield complains about the dog's dignity, before he acts similar when hearing that Arbuckle has a surprise for them. John reveals that he bought a grooming brush for the monthly checkup at the vet. John tries the brush on Odie. When Arbuckle leaves the room, Odie falls for the brush, much to Garfield's shock. Odie soon begins to treat the brush as a person and begins to pay little attention to Garfield's company. The two go outside and meet up with Arlene, Normal, and Adoption, who agree that Odie's love for the brush is cute. This angers Garfield, who's pushed into getting rid of the brush. In the nighttime, Garfield steals the brush and throws it in the garbage, claiming that there is no place for it in the household. The following day, Odie finds that the brush is missing and panics. He digs up the backyard. When unable to find it, he begins howling day and night. Garfield reveals to Arlene that he threw the brush away, leading the latter to ridicule him for doing so, claiming he did it as he was jealous, which Garfield shrugs off. The next day, Garfield is pushed over the edge when he gets no sleep and food, and buys another brush, which Odie identifies as a different brush. Garfield, overwhelmed by howling, takes Odie to the garbage can he threw the brush in, only to find it missing. When he sees it in a garbage truck, the two chase it down the dump, before going into the garbage disposal. The two manage to dodge the dangers inside, manage to get out with the brush. When they get home, Odie finds John's shoe brush on the table. He abandons the grooming brush in favor of the shoe brush. Garfield picks up the grooming brush and asks if it is free for the